And I saw a new heaven and a new earth, for the first heaven and the first earth were passed away, and there was no more sea. And I, John, saw the holy city, New Jerusalem, coming down from God out of heaven, prepared as a bride adorned for her husband. And I heard a great voice out of heaven saying, Behold, the tabernacle of God is with men, and he will dwell with them, and they shall be his people, and God himself shall be with them and be their God.
You guys, I had a vision that Chester Bennington, and I shared this video in my live chat video that I was doing on my channel. I had a dream that Chester Bennington, that he was in a black truck, and his truck was slowly pulling over to the side of the street. I mean, he was driving for some time, you guys, and in the dream I didn't understand what it meant, but I thought it was very weird because he was actually pregnant in the dream. So he was pregnant in a symbolic way in the dream, meaning that he was giving birth to something. And I saw a lot of commotion, a lot of people so excited. They were excited to see what Chester Bennington was birthing. They were all coming to it like a big parade, like a big celebration, and the news team showed up, law enforcement people, police officers showed up to this birthing, and it's like he was slowly dying and he was going into labor, going into travail. You guys, Chester Bennington was birthing something. I didn't understand it, and I brought this up in my live video, and one of my great sisters in Christ said in the live chat that, you know, maybe he was birthing the spirit of suicide, you guys, and I truly believe this, okay? And you could see that this is going to be a huge problem in our world now, with just people committing suicide more frequently. And Chester Bennington, in a sense, he's birthing that type of spirit in our atmosphere, because you have to remember, he is not just an everyday Joe. This is a person that is famous, that has famous people surrounding him. He has the media attention, you know. And so for a person that is famous like this, where people somewhat idolize, to see their idol give up, he's given up, you know, he's destroyed and killed himself in this manner, it makes them feel like this is an out too. And it's almost like when you're a musician, when most musicians take their own life, there's always this air of they're almost in immortality, in a, you know, like it's like they're gods or something. And in the music industry, it's pretty sad that these music head of these labels and those type of people working in that industry, you know, to them it's almost like you're more valuable to them dead than you are alive. There's many artists that made more money, had more hits when they were dead, and those people collected off of their death, and they, you know, they blew up and made it very sensational. So him killing himself in that manner, you know, it's almost like those artists become infamous and people forget their flaws, and that they had different, you know, things about their character that wasn't perfect, and they almost put them in this perfection bubble. But you guys, the whole point of the dream, that he was pregnant like that, birthing something, and the news being there, is the sensationalism of that, you know, type of airing that type of thing, and that type of energy that he's giving out, that suicidal, I'm giving up type of energy. And a lot of people are gonna continue down that path. You're gonna see more suicides, more and more suicides. You all, it's really sad to see that this is the type of spirit and energy that's upon the earth right now. And then even like Anthony Bourdain, this man that he used to be on this show, he used to be on this food show. A lot of people really like this man, you know, and it's like, you know, he didn't have to go in this way. And there's so much weird things surrounding his death. Like you know, and there's not much to say about it this time, but you know, there was some story about him and his girlfriend, or this woman that he was involved with, that she was cheating on him or something like this. But the whole fact that this man is a rich man, he seems that he has it all. That's the thing, they seem like they have it all. And it's like he he killed himself in the same manner that Chester Bennington killed himself, which is very eerie, because he's putting out that type of spirit there, that that which I think is extremely ironic, and I don't think it's coincidental that he hung himself just like Chester Bennington hung himself. I haven't even heard people doing this anymore. When people normally these days, when people commit suicide, is by some type of drug or some type of overdose, but hanging yourself just seems so brutal, and I definitely feel that he got that type of and like after they did examine Kate Spade's body. Kate Spade she's a very rich woman. She owns this company with designer handbags. I'm not sure if she has any fashion line or anything. I don't really look into that type of thing, but she definitely is very well off. She's the wife of David Spade. David Spade, the actor, the comedian. David Spade, this is his wife, and they were saying something like they were going through a divorce at this time, and she left a letter saying something like to her daughter, "Honey, it's not your fault, ask daddy." And in the same manner, Kate Spade killed herself. This woman was a very depressed person. She had a history of depression, and I'm not sure if she seek any help for it, or but I'm sure Jesus Christ could have saved this woman, if she only took heed to him, took his hand and opened that door for him. But when you're in Hollywood and all you know is money, fame, drugs, and the limelight, it's almost like it drowns you. That type of spirit, that energy is drowning you. And in Hollywood, it's very easy to lose focus of who you are and who you want to become, because this industry is full of corruption and drugs, and the richer you are, the more access you have to drugs and illegal type of behavior and just destructive behaviors. Kate Spade was an extremely depressed person, and I guess a person looking in wouldn't know that. She hung herself just like Chester did, just like just like all of these people are just hanging themselves. And this story, in a sense, it goes to show you again that money isn't everything, you guys. I mean, these people had everything. They, they're not 1,000-year. These people were millionaires, okay? They had almost everything that a person could need in this earth, but they didn't have God. They didn't have God in their hearts. And, it doesn't matter how much millions of dollars they had. They were living in turmoil. They were in their mansions, in their beautiful homes, living in complete hell and turmoil, full of sadness and depression. And this type of spirit, we can't allow this type of spirit to impact our children. And I want to bring something very important to you guys' attention, because we have this show out called 13 Reasons Why. And adults, they get the message, and it's for teens too. It's a good show to point out that there might be signs in your teen's life that you should be looking for, that they might be in trouble. But what about the children that are not, their minds are not developed enough to know that there's a message behind the show? What if they start to take the show as an example of what they should be doing, and that they themselves commit suicide too? And then you have these copycatter type of stories where people will copy things, copy movies, against sensationalism, and they'll start to leave behind tapes. I've actually heard something like this where a young teen did try to kill himself, and they were trying to leave behind tapes like 13 Reasons Why. This is very scary. And children are extremely impressionable. I mean, more impressionable than people really think. And this show 13 Reasons Why is it's a very, very depressing show. I mean, yes, it has a lot of truth to it, but it's very depressing. And I hope that children don't see that this is a way out. You don't feed depression with more darkness. You know, you gotta have the light of God, and you just have to let the Lord come in and take over, and just take the load off, and take the baggage, and take the heaviness away from you. And it's like, I hope you guys just keep watchful of other people, not just children, but adults, because it doesn't just show that young people have this issue in this spirit, but grown people, adult people